Thank you very much to our musicians. Let's hear it for them one more time. They always come through for us. The agony, the bearing an untold story inside of you. So the Jefferson College Writing Club was formed to help our college community tell the stories that are burning up inside of them. Whether it's in writing, art, music, we try to encourage students to find their voices, as well as other teachers and faculty and staff, people like that. So, hello, my name is Lisa Ebert, and I am a professor of English here at Jefferson College, and I'm one of the advisors of the JC Writing Club. And I wanted to give a warm welcome to all of you, to faculty, staff, students, friends, family. Thank you for coming out today to support our burgeoning artists here at Jefferson College. So this party is also our journal release party. So you were in the lobby and you saw that they were giving out these copies to the contributors and selling more. This is a job that takes pretty much the whole school year. In the fall, our club comes together, we get our new members, we make sure we have our officers. We start having people coming in to give them talks about different aspects of writing and publishing. And then as the second semester comes along, we start working on this journal. We had tons of submissions. We don't accept everything. They all come in, and then our editing group, which means any of the officers or active members of the club, we get together and look at all these selections. So what you have in your hand in front of you is vetted, and it is all work that was chosen, especially by our group. So first off, I want to give a round of applause to all of those artists in the book. Tonight, or today, this afternoon, is that we have a program, and if you know, anybody who's sitting there who knows that they've committed to reading, make sure you know about approximately when you will be coming on stage, sort of keep track of who's up there. When you come up, you get 4 to 5 minutes. If you're going too long, I've never had to do this, but I brought the Men in Black light. You'll get a little flash saying, okay, wrap it up. You get 4 to 5 minutes, but we don't want you to rush. We want you to take your time, speak clearly, look at your audience, and just enjoy sharing what you've created. Well, oh, also, I was going to say, when you come out, you might tell the audience what page your work is on, so that those of you with books, you can open it up and you can follow along if you wish to do that. Our MCs for this event will be our English professor, Tim Bain, who is also... And assisting him will be Noelle Silverhorn. She's the vice president of our club. I'm sure you will be mightily entertained by their comments. So after the readings, we'll adjourn back to the lobby for more snacks. If you want to get autographs from the writers or artists, you can do that. And if you're so inclined, we have a tradition where we all go out to eat at Thai Rama and Festus afterward. So everyone's welcome if you'd like to drive over and have a casual dinner together just to make the goodwill last a little bit longer. So I hope you enjoy our 2023 celebration of creative works.
Okay, Jill, get ready. I thought I'd just let you know a little bit about our process here. We've just Noelle and I've each chosen different people to introduce based on either who we know or whatever, and we each have different styles. So mine might be a little more joke-driven, but that's one thing I've been trying out my stand-up routine here in the last couple of years. So. You can either laugh, or if it's not funny, you can not laugh, and then that's the only way I'll learn, right? So we got, my first joke is about the movie Cocaine Bear. Did you see Cocaine? Like that's it, that's the joke. I could just sit down right now. No, I have an idea for a sequel for that one. It's going to be Fentanyl Ferret, so get ready for that. I'm going to make the jokes quick, though. And also, the other thing I'll let you know is that we have some stuff we've added to the introductions based on people we know, but also our readers have given us some great bio material to work with, so we'll occasionally be reading from that. And so I will now introduce to you Jill Summers. She is a non-traditional art student who nestles herself in a quaint Middle-earth hillside, blessed with a menagerie of perfection. A husband who vacuums, a German shepherd who listens, 3 cats who never ever get into trouble, and one of her 3 adult sons who uses power tools and plays board games. This is Jill Summers.
Actually, the miracle is I was in the ceramic studio for 3 hours and
Might want to pull the mic down a little bit yeah. Okay. There you go.
my first poem is Poems on Black Paper on page 85. Do poems on black paper peep a longing like ladies' lingerie, slinky, ostentatious little things, all wrapped around the middle, islets of umlau, delicate diphthongs, I dare you to touch that place, peppered with pretty slashes and dashes and T's crossed, lost in Stygian pressed pulp, is the truth. Nothing is more beautiful than the emptiness of darkest parchment of budding chalk lines, wanting to be more than a piece of black paper. My second poem is on page 66, and this was inspired by my photography class. This is the first time I've ever used a Nikon camera. So it's titled Nikon. Nikon, the click of a Nikon camera tickles across the ear hole, breathless, heavy whisper of gotcha from the lips of your first lover. No, wait. The clink of crystal cups overrun everything your parched lips ever open wide for. Yes, musical rainbow whir of ice cream trucks trolling, covered in centerfolds, pocket change promises for August. Le Petit Mort. Tickle, clap, and electric. Da Vincian mechanized shudder. slides across the board, and we are connected, you and I, through the inhale of an aperture and the click of an Nikon camera. That's
3 minutes? 2 minutes? 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, I have one that is not in the book, but you said that we could read something.
Could you just read a little louder? Just a little louder.
That's okay.
Project.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I came across this. I was reading a book of photography, and a gentleman, I think his name Yusuf Rosh, has a famous picture of Winston Churchill, and he looks so dour because the photographer wouldn't let him smoke his cigar in the photograph, and that just tickled me, and it inspired this poem. Winston Churchill's bow tie. Absurdly delicate and surely saturated with fine Cuban tar stains, it's a miraculous meeting of end to end around his sumptuous jowls. But he's inured to knots, Gordian, garrulous, those that roll on tank treads, the tangle of egos, step and slide across the digital radar of dance floors. Ping! A close hold, a low center of gravity, stealthily staccato that can't keep up. Ping! We melt away through the hazy blur, and our world is held together by wing-tipped archangels, swilling oak-soaked puffed chests and cigar cherries tied like Christmas packages with a blue polka dot bow tie. And
Next up, we have Lucas Gaw. He is a freshman here at Jefferson College. He likes art and reading, and he also likes collecting antiques and fossils. And, of course, he is our Chancellor of Activities and Promotions, right?
I think that's the title.
Yeah, there you go. So here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so I'm going to be reading a poem that is actually not in the book first. This is a sonnet about a blank page. With what to do a page so blank and white, other than to fill it tight with mine own mind? So spend hours do I, scribbling and writing till night, and now, God, I search and cannot find. A lick of white left behind nor uncovered by a visage both sly or grim or comic worthy. Silly stories that are best left unuttered. On bestsellers lists, these you will not be finding. 'Tis not to say these works are not of worth. They feed my soul, my inner self, and put smiles on faces and bring feelings of mirth to those near me, those foolish tenderfoots. Perhaps to them they see something of skill. To me, I see nothing but time I have killed. And then I have an excerpt of my short story, which did get published, which is on page 58. It's titled Soul Train. In the 1950s, one would assume before the advent of the Hippocratic Oath, or even common morality, taking an ambulance was a gamble. Paramedics would be given a stipend if they could deliver a cadaver directly to the morgue, rather than bring a half-dead mess into the hospital, for it just to die mere minutes later. So, just to make an extra buck, EMTs would take the scenic route, get stuck in traffic, maybe get a bite to eat at a burger joint, while the patient wastes away in the back. Of course, none of that is true, just idle chit-chat amongst school children. I'm not sure when the first time I had heard it was, but I know it was in middle school, long before I had dropped out of med school and became a paramedic myself.
And I just want to mention, too, that Lucas is, we did some book club stuff with the writing club, and we read Piranesi, And for the summer, we're going to read the new Stephen King fairy tale. So if anyone's interested in that, I'll pick that up in a minute. If anyone's interested in that, contact us. We're going to, in the fall, we'll meet about it. So I wonder if you all heard about, did you hear anything about balloons in the news, or was that just me? But I just feel like that could have gotten so out of control and so stupid that like 50 years from now, you college students, you'd be like, your grandkids would be like, why did World War III start? Well, there was a balloon, and then there was another balloon, and then there was a third balloon, and then it was on. So our next reader, let me get this right here. Madison Mueller, Maddie, former student of mine. She lives in Burns Mills, but she's lived in the suburbs of Chicago her whole life. She is currently doing general education before moving on to get a degree in political science. Even with all of that, she loves to write whenever she gets the chance. Here's Maddie Mueller.
I already call this a success because I didn't trip on the stage, so that's what I was most stressed about. But I'm going to be reading 2 poems. My first one is going to be on page 54, and it's titled, Her Silent Stare. I wake up, and she is standing there, cold and quiet, still as a statue. She only stares. No tears, no smile, no words ever spoken. She takes the form of a little girl. Vanilla curls fall below her neck. Her eyes sunken and void. She only wears a tattered gray dress, hanging on by a thread. She first started in the mirror, haunting my mornings. Then she graced the reflections of my everyday life. The beer, the bottles, and the bile thereafter. I scream at her quite often, till my lungs become dry. Angry at a spirit who simply stands there. I throw any object my hand can find. I smash every bottle and force my mind clear, cold and clammy. As sweat slides down my body, restless in my bed, but finally free of her skin. Then the bathroom door creaks open. The girl stares once more. Even in a sad and dreary state, I feel she is judging, like a jury in court. I can stand her stares no longer. I run to the bathroom with my fist. I stand at the mirror, my hands on the sink. A fire begins to build in my heart. I raise my hand and punch the mirror, over and over. The shards scatter everywhere, cutting my skin to the bone. The blood trickles down my arm, and pain sears through my body. Then I look at the mirror once more. Barely anything remains, but the girl still stares. And then, clarity, for the girl was me, many years before. My eyes begin to soften. My body slumps to the ground, defeated by her stares. I look down at my battered hands and the glass around me, for the girl is now gone, and the shell of a woman was all that remains. My second poem is going to be on page 138, and it is titled A Guilty Man's Goodbye. I write this letter to you, my dear. Your eyes are the only ones to behold it. We've been apart a while, my dear. Our savings went down the hole. I can't deal with the pain, my dear. My heart simply can't stand it. I've done something repulsive, my dear. You must move on without me. This job is putrid and sad, my dear. I've failed you once again. The blood taints my soul, my dear. The red still paints my hands. Please do not cry and weep, my dear. You'll forgive me over time. I'll soon be free, my dear, my shame along with it. The iron is still in my hand, my dear, the trigger ever so touching. This is simply goodbye, my dear. I'll love you until I
Got Alyssa coming up next. She's in my Comp 2 class. Took me for Comp 1. Very enjoyed having her in both classes, and I really her poem "She" is one of my favorites in the book. So I figured might as well do a literary joke while we're up here for my students. I know they're out there. By the way, see me in the lobby afterwards. Sign my sheet. Yep. Hi. So we read a story this semester called A Good Man is Hard to Find, and it's about a psychopath named the Misfit. And I've decided I'm going to write a sequel to that called A Good Woman is Moderately Difficult to Find, in which he finds true love finally and stops killing people. But this will be more coherent. Here's Alyssa.
Alyssa is she, and she's on page 131 if you want to follow. She is beauty, she is grace, she always has a smile on her face. She is so kind to every single person she sees. She's fucked up, she cries, she's had to say one too many goodbyes. She doesn't know where she's going, and she doesn't know who she wants to be. But she knows what a smile can mean to a stranger or an astonishment. She is beauty, she is grace, she is scared she'll never find her place. She is stagnant, unsure, no clue where to go next. But she smiles and hides behind her face. She is beauty, she is grace, she is tired, she's over-searching, and she no longer gives a fuck, so her smile, her face, for her fucking grace.
All right, next we have up Timothy Fisher. I see you standing at, you've got to come up here. You've got to come up here. He is the president of JC Writing Club, and he helped edit and pick out all the submissions that went in here. And he's also a fan of Godzilla. He loves Godzilla a lot, guys. He's also known for participating in the 48-hour film fest. So here he is.
There it goes. Hey everyone, how's it going?
Good. Woo. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for asking. So, I'll be honest, I don't really have the best speeches made, even when I have months in advance to prep. But I am willing to at least say real quick that I am thankful for all of you being able to do so far, and that the Writers Club was able to make this sort of event possible. In terms of poetry, I only was only able to submit 2 this semester, and there is one that I would like to read. This one I don't think there's anything that can best follow up this poem. It's a haiku written by the very character that my VP had mentioned earlier, Godzilla. So I know. I do hope you enjoy this work. I'm trying to take up too much of your time. The mushroom cloud opens. It covers all under it. Life will pass away. People crying out. The clouds envelop them all. Ashes now filter. Wrecking havoc now. Life changes beyond belief. Cities fall silent. Suddenly rising, it returns now with vengeance. It is filled with hate. Its claws stretched outward. It shines with fire and rage. All it sees will die. Its backside glowing, it breathes forth horrible light. Not even bone sting. Its feet crack the ground. Its thunder reaches for miles. The world hears its very step. All die around it. Its power rips through flesh. There is no mercy. Hell rising upward. The devil even impressed. It gives him many. Fixed upon us all, it takes all in its reach. Martyrs even scream. Molecule unleashed, we create our own doomsday. Vision taking form. Pandora opened. The beasts come forth and bellow. Creation is weeping. Creation must die. To kill them, we must kill Earth. There's defeat all around. God of destruction, power knows no known bounds. The roar dominates. It fears no one else. As many fear his power. It is all supreme. Unstoppable force, an immovable object, science at full rage. I am death. These words will live in infamy. Destroyer of worlds. That's all I have.
So, this next thing isn't so much a joke as a transcription of a conversation that happened in class in Comp 2. Is Ryan here? No? So we were doing a journal entry one day, and this, my student Ryan, he's like, how do you spell mope? And I said, M-O-P-E. And he said, I thought it was M-O-A-P. And I said, nope. N-O-P-E. There you go. Our next reader was a real blessing this year. She served as our vice president, and she was contributed so much to the journal, the final product that you have. She's got a lot of stuff in it, and it's great. And she really just was there for so many meetings, evaluating what came in. And, she's got the back cover, great back cover. And I just remember when I first had her in class, we were doing one of those sort of get-to-know-you activities, and I was learning a few things about each of the students, and she said she'd written 2 novels already. I'm like, what now? This is composition 2, and you've written 2 novels already? How does that work? And she was in high school. She still is in high school, right? Like, what the hell? So anyway, she's just a great person too, and like I said, just really made the club this year. So give it up for Noelle Silberhorn, please.
The first poem that I am reading today is on page 122, and this is a poem that I said out loud because it's about my cat, to my cat, and then I was like, wow, this will make a really good poem. I'm going to write this down. So I did. So here is The Cat in Exile. I know you're lonely. I'm sorry you're lonely. I'm sorry you can't go upstairs anymore. I'm sorry my dad married a whore. You had a dog and 6 kids. Yeah, everybody loves that poem. All right, my next poem is titled Imaginary, and it is on page 115. So this one's very descriptive, so I'd like you to just try to imagine what's actually going on here. I am defined. I wonder how may the world be this bliss. The sound of the river, of birds that chirp sweetly and melodically. I see the shimmer of light on the water. I want desperately to stay here forever. The sun perfectly placed, the smell of flowers sweet. I am flown, the breeze lightly sweeping through my hair and curling me in a blanket. I think this perfection is immeasurable, my yellow dress slowly waving. I bend and touch the soft petals of a lily, and I feel the coolness of the river flow over my fingers. I worry that this perfection won't last, but I must try. I feel a tear drip down, and it shimmers in the light of gold fire. I close my eyes and breathe in. I am at peace. I open my eyes and see the world come rushing back to me. It was a dream. I realize that I still am trapped in the events of the present of the darkness and the hurt, the present of the confusion and the misunderstanding, the present of fear and distrust. I hope that the world will one day open its eyes to the inequality and suffering in which it places upon its own people. I am longing for the change. My next poem is on page 26. For this, it should be said that I am an overthinker, and the dilemma that I was facing this time was asking out a guy. How do you do that? I don't know. I thought of so many different ways to do it, Each time I thought one idea was solid, it would just change on me. So this poem is titled, How to Ask Out a Guide from the Mind of an Overthinker. And this is just like a glimpse of like the process that I went through. One thing I've long since wondered is, how do you ask out a guide? Do you go for over-dramatic that matches your inside humor? You want to know a secret? I have a massive, overtly large crush on you. Do you want to go on a date? More subtle. I like you. You want to go on a date? Do you say it all rapid fire? Hey, hi, I really like you a lot. I have this big old crush on you, and I wanted to ask you out since we first started talking. So do you want to go on a date sometime? Like anytime, I don't care when. And then fall silent as you realize how crazy you just sounded. Do you let your best friend interrogate him, and when he later asks why, you say, it's because she wanted to know her competition for the title of best friend. A lie, obviously, or because she was trying to figure out how good of a boyfriend you'd be. Straight-faced, of course, so that way you have an out if he says no. Do you send him this poem via text, and act like you're talking to your best friend, and that you sent it on accident, knowing full well that he understands every inside joke in this poem? Or do you simply say, hey, I really like hanging out with you, and I was wondering if you'd like to go on a date sometime? I really don't know how to ask a guy out. I'll tell you when I figure it out. He said yes, by the way.
So now I got a dad joke, in that it was a joke by my actual dad. So maybe put joke in quotations, but I went over to his place the other day. And he's, I just have him shave my head, and this is, give me a haircut, just shave my head, because it's, I don't know, too lazy to do it on my own. But so he's cleaning up afterwards. He's like, just sweeping up the hair, and my stepmom, Rose, says, well, don't forget to get that rag, too. There's a rag laying around on the floor of the garage. He's like, I'm getting it. You ragging on me? So I chuckled at that, and then my dad said, you see what I did there? And I don't know. My dad is not a you see what you did there kind of guy, so it made me laugh. My stepmom said, don't encourage him. But I guess I am. I'm making him famous now. Our next reader has also been in a couple classes with me, and she is just really does some interesting writing in and I've had her for Composition 1, Composition 2, and earlier this semester, our former club president Luke Adams, who's now going to Webster, he sent me an email saying, we're doing a philosophy conference at Webster. Go ahead, could you publicize this in your classes, see if anybody wants to submit an abstract or whatever and present at the conference. I was like, I'll do that. I don't think anybody will go for it, but one person responded, and that was Molly Ostel, and I love her essay in the book, which she's going to read for you. So here is Molly Ostel.
So much fun writing this essay, and if you want to follow along, it's The Sword and the Snake on page 117. I don't know if you've ever met a homeschooler, but don't go looking for them. The stereotypes are true. Have you ever heard things like, homeschoolers are weird, homeschoolers are social misfits, or homeschoolers are homeschooled because they're crazy, and they should never speak to a normal human being? Those statements exist for a reason. I've been a homeschooler all my life, and I can honestly say what's worse than one homeschooler is many. Even though people are aware of this truth, to combat the additional stereotype that Mohammed's never go anywhere, homeschoolers congregate to form a homeschool group. I've always been reckless and hungry for adventure. My middle school days are the times I had all my adventures with my fellow homeschoolers. Wheelchair races, finding coffins in odd places,
minty Rice Krispie treats, which should not be a thing, and a 1,000-year-old curtain. I've seen crazy, but among all my escapades, one stands out. It was a normal day at the homeschool group. Only 10 a.m. and there had already been a performance in the cafeteria, 3 physical fights, and an intense political debate. In retrospect, the church where we had our homeschool group was only a small building, but not small enough for troublemakers like me and my friends. I'm not exactly sure why the building was on the slight side, but in hindsight, already read that, sorry. On that day, 2 of my siblings, our friend Gabe, and I had just finished class and we did not have another one to take like many of the kids did. We were stuck waiting for our parents to get us. Like the responsible and well-rounded adults that homeschool parents are, they let us roam around unsupervised on that overwhelming day. After horsing around for a while, plus another intense political debate amongst us, we decided to explore a little bit. Walking down the hallway, my eye spotted a door I had never seen before. Stopping in my tracks and not waiting up for my friends, I pushed open the door with a loud creak and waited for the lights to flicker on. Unbeknownst to me, a vile and detestable thing was waiting for me in that room. All I could see was the food on the counter on the far wall. Half of us were scrawny, underweight teenagers, so when I said the word food, everyone was quick to join me in the mysterious food room. That is when we saw a thing. My sister smiled, looked up, and nonchalantly said, "There's a snake on the floor." Sure enough, right there on the cheap carpet lay an 8-inch brown beige baby copperhead. Its head was intricately patterned, its body was woven with texture and color. Most people are under the impression that because a baby copperhead snakes cannot control their bites, they are more venomous than their adult counterparts. Although this is not the case, I was still completely terrified of this Jimmy Jones sandwich-sized monster. Rearing up its head, the snake started to make an advance at me, but only naturally moved closer to get a better look. "Move back," our good friend Dave shouted. Donning the most intense look I had ever seen on that crazy boy's face, he ran out of the room and down the hallway, his cowboy boots thudding with each step. He arrived back in the room, yielding a 10-inch kitchen knife, a bloodthirsty look in his eyes. Gabe bent down over the young snake and chopped that thing into literal pieces, hacking away for the longest 10 seconds of my life. I didn't know that snakes had that much blood in them, and as the blood seeped out onto the knife and poured down to the carpet, I couldn't run away. Afterward was a flurry of commotion. I was sure that no one would believe us. We interrupted the other students' class, and a friend who was going through an undeniable visco phase yelled at us for taking a life. Gabe stood in the kitchen, calmly cleaning his knife that he wasn't even supposed to have. Have I raced wheelchairs around the hallway? Have I seen someone possibly resurrected from the dead? Have I laid hands on curtains made of ancient cloth? Yes, but out of all my adventures, the first one to come to mind was the snake in the building. Even though our homeschool group has now gone on and moved to another building, I still sometimes visit the modest church for events. There's still a crimson red stain of blood on the carpet. It's all true, by the way. Thank you.
Next, we have up Micah Mills. He is the only person to get a play in all 3 versions of the journal, so shout out to him. That's what he'll be reading today. He has also titled himself The Realm Maker because he puts his heart and soul into all of his characters, and he loves to provide people with a entertaining breakaway from reality. So, Micah.
This over there? You want this over there? Huh? Okay.
Hello. All right, so yeah, I'm Micah. I wrote the first script ever added to the journal. Brain fart. So I forgot what else to say.
It's on. It's called
It's- yeah,
Alpha.
it's on
It's on page 94.
It's it's Alpha, page 94. I'm not good at this. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I'm having fun here.
Yeah. All right. Do you
No.
want me to start?
Should I get the experts first, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This script is actually taken at a specific part in the story, and so it might be a little bit confusing for people who don't know the story, so I'm going to give a little bit of a brief summary of what happened up to this point. So, in the story at the beginning, the forest is a kingdom, and in this kingdom it is ruled by 3 different factions: the wolves, the coyotes, and the foxes. And among these 3, there is one that rules over them all, known as the Alpha. And at the beginning of the story, the Alpha is mysteriously murdered, leaving the leaders of the other 2 factions. I'm getting stuttery.
You want to take a deep breath? There you go.
Okay. So yeah, the other 2 faction leaders and the 2 sons and everyone in the forest just distraught. And people are trying to figure out who was the killer of the Alpha, and there's been put blame on the eldest son and the 2 leaders. But for now, it's been decided that the eldest son will become the new Alpha next in line. But later, he is eventually slain by the hands of the Beta, which is second in command, and the other 2 leaders end up become killed as well by a mysterious player who was the real killer of the Alpha, known as Vincer. And there is a second-born son, which I will be playing in the story, who manages to run away after getting mercy from Vincer. And at this moment, Vincer is now leading a regime and is instilling fear to all the force and pretty much killing anyone that is against him. And in this moment, Ruby, a close friend of Rex Novich, my character, who is going to be played by her, is just finding out that Rex is alive and confronts him. So let's continue on.
Page 94.
Yeah, I am on the wrong page.
Rex, why did you have to run? None of this would have happened if you didn't run. You would have saved the forest. You would have been the greatest Alpha to exist. Why couldn't you see that? Why? No, stay back, stay away.
Quiet. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Rex?
Ruby?
You're alive?
Oh, okay. Yes, it's me. Calm down. We can't let them hear us.
I can't believe you're alive. I thought Vincer had killed you.
He knew I never wanted to be Alpha, so he granted me mercy as long as I hid away.
Mercy?
I'm sorry. Okay. Gloves are awful. I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't fight him, or else I knew I'd join Giuseppe and Redmere, so I ran and hid here. It's not ideal, but it's hard to find.
You ran away?
I know, it was cowardly. What else could I have done?
You could have come to us for help. Do you realize how much we needed you? How much I needed you? Do you know how much it hurt to believe you were gone?
Until seeing you here, I didn't realize how much I hurt everyone. I'm sure saying sorry won't be enough.
I can't tell you how glad I am. I can't tell you how glad it is to know that you're alive, but you don't understand. Without you, the forest has gone up in flames. Wolves, foxes, coyotes. Unless he sees you worthy, Vincer has been killing every animal who stands against him. There is no hope anymore. When we heard news that Vincer had killed you, your mother no longer had the will to go on. I traveled with her, hiding from the regime until later she took her own life, not wanting to live in a world without her family.
I never realized I am a coward. I should have never hidden away. I should have never thrown away my chance. I have disgraced my family and the forest, forfeited the title of Alpha, to a creature with no right to rule. Why must I have been hiding away? I'm so sorry, Ruby. 1,000 times over, I am sorry. Can you ever forgive me?
Rex, what you did was the most idiotic thing you ever could do. But the fact that you still live means that there's still hope. I forgive you, and I believe that you can be the forest's savior.
How? I'm no different than before.
Stop saying that. I know you think yourself unworthy, but trust me when I say I believe you. You are the kindest and most caring wolf I know, and I believe that you are all we need right now.
All right, fine. I'll find a way to save the forest. For you, for my family, for the forest itself.
You promise?
I promise. I will not back down again. What's wrong?
There you are. No more running. Rex Novus?
Mister, let me live in. I'm sorry.
I cannot believe it. Forgive me, my Alpha. I have done wrong against you and your family. I have slaughtered countless creatures, innocent and guilty, and I regret everything I have done for Vincer. My guilt is as sincere as my words. Now please forgive me of my sin against the forest. Please.
It's all right. I do not condemn you. I forgive you. Please stand.
We need to find the heirs of the other factions. They can help us.
Then we need to go now. The regime is nearby.
Follow me. This way. I also forgot, this is my friend Connor. Forgot to introduce him.
Next up, we have Beth Lund. Am I saying that right? Is Beth here? Okay. 1 second. Where'd it go? All right, Beth is a first-year student here at Jefferson College, and she is getting a degree in education. She was also very helpful in picking out all the work for this journal and picking out the back cover art. She was really awesome. She is a poet, daughter, wife, and mom, and she's weird and dark. So here's Beth.
The first poem I wrote is called Roadmap, and it's on page 53. The scars on my body are a roadmap, all the fine lines showing where I have been, all my mistakes and mishaps. In my mind, like a movie scene, all playing before me over and over so vividly. Overthinking everything I've ever done, taking me to that time and place instantly. Memories pop off in my mind like shots from a gun. The emotions wrapping me in suffocation. My chest feels like it's tearing in two. Ripping apart my unsteady foundation. I continue to falter. Spiraling down I go, to the places I hate to revisit. The tears begin to flow. The sound bursting from my mouth are inexplicit. Then a silence comes that burns my ears. My breathing is ragged and heavy. My heart pounding is all I hear. My mind is exhausted and messy. Here I lie on the floor, going over it in my mind. What is it all for? My next poem is called Garden of Lies, and it's on page 116. All of your words are deceitful lies, presented as bouquets of flowers, painted like a picture of the sunrise. With ugly, vindictive schemes, I internally scream. Your words twisted into a rainbow of beauty, you gaslight me, making the world see you as an unsung hero, singing like an alluring sparrow, perched in your tree of dishonesty, while you inflict your painful lobotomy. Dripping with your swift manipulation, your focus on me has turned into fixation. But I won't be buried in your garden of lies while my body rots into less flies. As you try to mask it with daffodils and daisies, I refuse to let you take me.
Well, got another literary joke, another joke for the students. They had to read Othello, so I think I forgot to mention the fact that William Shakespeare, his nickname is the Bard. I don't think I mentioned that in class. I was at a meetup the other night, dinner meetup, just having dinner with strangers, and this one guy said that Google's new AI thing is called Bard, and I said, excuse me, there's only one Bard, and his first name is The. But isn't that weird? You know what Bard means? It just means poet. It's like, what if Shakespeare was alive today? Wow, how's my work being received? Well, we call you the poet, so pretty good. Anyway, our next reader is Shanae Boone. She lives in Jefferson County with a dog and a cat. She's currently earning her associate's degree, but will be pursuing higher education to become a therapist for foster youth. Shanae Boone, folks.
So, my first poem is called Outgrowing the Roots. And if you want to follow along, it's on page 146. Outgrowing the roots. A root is supposed to be something that sticks, stays forever. But sometimes it becomes a bad root and doesn't grow anymore, so you cut it off and start over. Outgrowing your roots is okay, even if your sadness is in the way. Deep down, you know it's for the best, so you just deal and pray, because you know it'll make you better one day. A definition of a root is the basic cause, source, or origin of something. And a bad root, a root rot, ground soft, and unhealthy. But once you find out a root is unhealthy, how do you remove it? Can you please tell me? It hurts like hell because that's all I thought I would know. But I know none of the toxins help me grow. I'm not ready. I'm not strong enough. I thought it was easy, but man, it's rough. Coming to the conclusion that your roots are never going to be better brings you sad and blue like severe weather. But remember, after all that rain, there's sun. Your new roots will need all that to grow. So keep them close and learn to cope, because in the end, there's always hope. The next one is called Dealing with Scars. Covering pain with a smile, finally okay, or so I thought, not knowing that covering it up will later leave me in distraught. Trauma is a tricky thing. You play around with it, and then it's not as big as it seems, until something or someone triggers it, and then I'm back in the house with those demons breaking and screaming. Only this time, when I wipe my eyes from crying, I don't find myself in that dark corner. I find myself trying and not denying my trauma. Instead, I'm crying and I'm applying that my trauma will no longer defeat me. That at this point, my trauma cannot beat me or even compete with me because I choose me, and I promise that all that hurt and neglectful trauma will be set free eventually. And until it does, I will continue to kick life ass and make sure I'm not affected bad by my past, because I matter. And they're not things that destroy you, but they're things that I'll conquer, and that's a guarantee. The next one is I'm a foster kid. I'm a foster kid. Home after home, wishing there was 2 shots to my dome because I never knew I would feel so alone, but hey, that's the cost of being a foster kid. I filled myself with emptiness, so when I bled from my arm, it would just be tense, and then I made my heart build defense, and I bet you know why. I'm a foster kid. I'm in pain most days and hurt by other people's ways. I just wish things would change when my life's already prearranged. Hey, you guessed it. I'm a foster kid. Man, I struggled to make friends and always bullied in the end. Ha! You don't got no mother. They were supposed to be my friends, but it all comes to an end. I'm a foster kid. The last one is called Mama, Why Don't You Love Me? Mama, why don't you love me? Abandon me at birth. Why did you bring me on this earth? Why am I not enough? A life with no mother? Man, that was rough. Never had a father. All I needed was my mother. Never got that either, but at least I got to meet her. Mama, why don't you love me? I thought you was the only one who could save me, not knowing that I was a mistake and you just wanted to be free. I still love you though. Everything I've been through, you wouldn't know because you didn't care. You wasn't there. Raped 5 times. You was nowhere to be found. Told me to kill myself. Ended up throwing up pills on the ground. Mama, why don't you love me? Constantly put a man before me. You had 7 kids. Said you wish you had the money to abort me. Mama, why? Why don't you love me? Trying to build us and you breaking me. I loved you. You said you hated me. All this pain you caused should have awakened me, but you're my mother. And you only get one of those, I thought. So your love I sought for. Your presence I craved more. Verbally, physically, mentally abusive, but who's keeping score? I asked, why don't you love me? Maybe you didn't love yourself. Saying to myself that you was just in bad health. So I can be okay with you not loving me, hurting me to death. Or maybe with you even deciding to take your own life. Thinking back when you gave me the exact same advice. I forgive you. I guess I just needed to see it from your view.
All right. Next up, you know him, you love him. We have Tim Boehm over here. And he's a man of no introduction, so here he is.
There is a charge for the eyeing of my scars, is something I wish I'd written but that was by Sylvia Plath. This first one is, I'm just going to read 2 pieces. This first one is in the book. It's called Scar Stuff. I am a sun in a body burning through all the time and space-worn bullshit, even the body. I am a divinity in a universe of divinities, and you can stare right at me. You won't go blind. I'm not one of those assholes. And the second one is in the book. It's on page 65. It's a play on the phrase day drinking. So I actually put the word day drinking, but then I have a strike through drinking, and so it's actually called day thinking. Now, what can you make of a day? Will this one be put down like so many before it? The sun rose, the sun set. You worked, ate, watched some TV, and slept. Maybe you have a pet. Did you save the world today? I have nothing left to say. Some days the sun can't decide if it wants to shine, and some days I can't either. Or I want to, but I can't find the rays to blaze. Did you save the world today? I have one thing left to say. We're told to be grateful, but what is gratitude? You're glad a good thing happened, that you won the day, that you somehow got rid of something or someone. You're glad you saw the sun. Thank you.
Next up, we have Ashlyn Walls, and she is a sophomore at Jefferson College. She is studying political science in her free time and enjoys spending time in nature and journaling. This is her second publication, and for those of you who don't know, she is the president of Student Senate.
And the front cover.
Oh yeah, and front cover, and front cover.
Hi. Like Tim Bain said, I'm on the front cover. There's not much to explain about this picture, I just thought it was pretty. So. My first poem that I'm going to be reading is on page 57, and it talks about a pretty common part of the human experience, I think. So it's called Growing Pains. It's really short. It hurts, feeling the loss, yet loss converts stagnancy to monumental applause. Very short. And then the next one is on page 114. And I think the beautiful thing about poetry is that it can be interpreted in many different ways to many different people. Whoa, I just moved the podium. But my personal interpretation of this one was a hobby that was very near and dear to my heart. It became really personally intertwined with myself and how I viewed myself, and I kind of harbored some bitter feelings toward that, so this is what it's about. It's called Nurturing Fatality. The Nurturer. Planting seeds, watering dutifully, pulling weeds, nurturing cheerfully, supplying nutrients, observing daily, administering treatments, loving the plant. Expecting all, demanding more, evolving gall, imposing chores, growing thorns, ripping hearts, having scorn, weaponizing smarts. The end. Slowly dying, not freely, complying, trying, nurturing deeply. Thank you.
Well, you only have to make it through one more Bain joke, folks, but I did save the worst for last. So, just thought of you. It's about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? He had a movie come out recently called Black Adam, which I thought was pretty cool, but it underperformed. It underperformed, no doubt. So I'm thinking, wow, and The Rock's had a couple other duds, over the years. So my idea to help, get his confidence up again as a real victor or whatever is that he should change his name to Dwayne "The Paper" Johnson. See? Paper beats rock. Okay. I told you, it was the worst. Our next reader is Deanne Beekman. She is a graduate of Crystal City High School. She's earning her AA from Jefferson College and is going to transfer to Hannibal LaGrange University as an English major. That sounds scary. I was one of those. Her goal is to write and publish a book of poems.
want to start by saying I love Dwayne The Rock Johnson, so I like that.
Me too.
I have a couple in the book, but I'm only going to read one from the book. It's called Cry Me a River, and it's on page 57. I stood in the forest as my soul hit the ground, but even if I screamed, you wouldn't hear a sound. Salt left my eyes at a tilt, till the tears held a current, and washed away my guilt, despite the exertion. If you saw me, you'd think I was lost, but darling, I'm free, searching for my cause. And then I have another one that I wrote a couple months ago. I didn't submit it, but I wanted to read it. I just decided like 2 minutes ago. It's called Finally Letting You Go. I learned to save my tears, recycle tears bottled for years, stored them high upon the wall, waiting for the day they all fall. Laid myself down in the glass, refused to let your memory pass. Planned to drown in the pain, till clarity fell like fresh April rain. The noose you tied began to unwind, once carved with cement, washed away in my content. And the last one I'll read to you today, I wrote a week ago at the grave of my grandparents who died before I was born. What I wouldn't give to talk to you, the things I'd say if I only could. I want to scream out, this isn't fair, but ask the hand of death if you would care. You watched me grow, glancing from the sky, and every day I refrain from asking God why. But I think of you like stained glass, shining with the sun and a love that will never pass. Though I cannot see the window, I see its effects, shining through me, illuminating every speck. Even though you are gone, I will see you again, but you'll always live on through the ink of my pen.
Next up, we have Lisa Ebert, the woman who started the ceremony. She is the advisor for the JC Writing Club, as she mentioned earlier. And she has been a big part of this club. She helps make sure everything's running smoothly and gets it all together. And she, sends this book to the printer and makes sure that all the spacing and everything fits together perfectly. So here's Lisa.
Thank you. Good to be back. I have a poem in the book on page 64, and it's interesting because when I teach creative writing in the spring, that's when I get most of my writing done. My students inspire me. So this was an assignment just a couple months ago where we had to pick a deadly sin that we committed, and this is the poem that came out of it. It's called Gluttony. Indeed, I moved on to the next episode without waiting for you, dear, and I fear it became a binge of TV that day. Just like the way I am with caramel porn, I can't stop these things that soothe my soul and fill the hole. Tasty things, pretty, luscious, engaging, enraging, dive bombing in till the passion is spent, till my soul is rent, and then ready for the next best thing, the next episode in life. Your wife is insatiable for a book, a news event, music, celebrity gossip, the next passion, but to ration, I just can't. We had fun with that assignment. We all admitted our sins. And then over here on page 139, this is a story that I wrote after I read an op-ed piece that encouraged families to turn against each other over politics and to not visit that mean old Uncle Frank who says off-color things and stuff like that. So, I didn't quite agree with it. So this is a story, I'll only be able to read a bit of it, and you can find out how it turns out. It's called Independence Day. July 4th, 2024. Marcia Vaughn often waits sits in bed first thing in the morning, letting her body stretch and luxuriate before she tries to make it walk. It's her birthday today. She's 64 now, but she may as well be 80. Time hasn't been kind. Her muscles are weak. They cramp and twitch when she overdoes it. Yesterday, she overdid the weeding, but it was such a temperate day, not swamp hot like usual, and she wanted to be outside in her shady little gardens. Soon she won't be able to go outside at all. July days regularly top 100 degrees, not like when she was a kid in the 1960s. At least in her memory it wasn't so bad. Today is the day the grandchildren will come over. Passion, age 6, and Lawrence, age 4. They're her son's children, and she adores them. Their visits are the light of her life, but they come less frequently since Todd and Veronica moved to Illinois, 2 hours away, to teach at the university. Marcia will take what she can get, though. She keeps up her little in-ground pool because she knows the grandchildren love it so. She rarely swims, but still, taking an occasional soak does relax her muscles, and she's grateful. And from the pool, in the distance, the faraway sight of annual fireworks will be just faintly discernible. The local park sponsors Independence Day fireworks, and she's fortunate to be within a mile of the park. She's fortunate to share America's birthday. Her neighborhood is part of an old-timey community, the tiny bedroom suburb founded over 150 years ago. The houses are rickety and the landscape overgrown, but it's being gentrified by young folks. She offered to sell her house to Todd, at a discount rate, of course, but he has no interest in what he calls her bourgeoisie upper middle class suburb, and so he makes an apartment in a college town in his home. Luck, fortune, gratitude in the little things. It's her daily mantra. So you'll have to read the rest of the book because everything goes bad. All right, and I'm staying up here a moment because we have a section called Open Mic Volunteers, and there were a couple of readers who didn't get on the program before it got printed. So I would like to introduce the last two people. Abigail Crawford is one of my students currently, and I'm very proud of her. She lives in Baldwin, Missouri with her husband, Nick Crawford, her dog, Lily, and her cat, Stormy. And I'm not going to give away the rest because it'll reveal the plot of her essay that she got published.
I don't read, I normally just write my stuff down. I never read it out loud or send it in anywhere. So I really don't know how much of this I'm going to read because I'm extremely nervous. So, not gonna lie. Okay, it's on page 136 and it's called Different Path. I still remember the pain of what I was going through and how every night I felt like I wanted to die. I just wanted the feeling to go away. I never imagined myself doing drugs back then, but I was in so much pain that I simply did not care. It was December 10th, 2018. I was only 17. I have so much going on, I groaned as I dragged my hands down my face. That was when he pulled out a small bag the size of a flip phone. Inside the bag was a white powder. I looked at the bag and then looked at him. He smiled and said, "This is what I do to make me happy." I was silent, still staring at the bag, knowing precisely what it was. I contemplated whether or not I should. Eventually, I looked back up at him and said, "Sure." This was the worst thing I could have ever said. I knew I should have said no and got out of the car, but with the thought of the pain going away, I couldn't resist. He reached into the back seat up to his car and pulled out a tray. Then he proceeded to open the bag and make a straight line with the powder. The last thing I remember from that night is him asking, "Do you want a straw or do you just want to snort it?" That's all I'm going to read. Because, yeah, I can't.
All right. Another person who volunteered to read today is Vinny Apollo. He lives in Festus, Missouri, and this is his first publication. However, he has written many things in the past. He lives with his family and 2 dogs, and he's trying to get his associate's degree. Welcome, Vinny.
My poem is on page 101. It is called, well, I'll get to it, The Disagreement. The hopeless feeling of not moving, but feeling trapped in your own bubble. The agony of sleepless nights with unanswered questions that we have pondered. For who is to answer our call? For whom is to dread our outrageous requests? For you to tell me that I'm alone, thus I have forgotten the true quality of our inquiry. Yet I alone lay awake on these nights, sleepless and awaiting your final judgment. Will you respond, or have you to walk away yet again? Yet I ponder with an uncertain atonement in my mind. Why do you ignore what we have discussed? Why must you discourage trust? Is this the end and the final stages of trivial argument? Have you yet to believe these words? With my final sincerities, I ask of you to pray no longer. Thank you, your heavens and earth and nature. Thus I must say, no longer shall I walk through the path of misfortune, but I will find peace.
Our next reader is also a student of mine. Her name is Megan Click. She's an automotive technology major here at Jefferson College. She likes to read mysteries, adventures, and romantic books. Megan lives in Dittmer and enjoys spending time with her 2-year-old niece. And she has an essay on page 125 she's going to read a bit of.
So this essay is about how I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety back in 2017 when my senior year started. How did I even make it through this very hard time? I shouldn't be living right now. I'm here when I didn't want to be here. This was here in this messed up world, but God had other plans for me. I ask myself, why am I still here living to this day? Every day, I'm proud of myself for staying strong. This story is about how stressful a job made me who I am today. I started working at Six Flags in my sophomore year of high school. It started June 10th of 2016. I worked in this stand by Mr. Crease. I worked in that stand all summer long by myself. My supervisor, Sean, came up to me one day. It was at the end of the summer. He asked me if I wanted to be a manager. I accepted the position at Six Flags. It was called a lead, not a manager. Six Flags park is broken up into 3 areas. I worked in Area 1 during my first year at Six Flags. I did work there during the school year, and I worked on the weekends at Six Flags Fright Fest as well. And Six Flags opened Holiday in the Park in 2016. During the summer, I worked about 50 hours a week. I was only supposed to work 40 hours a week. During my senior year of high school, I quit my job at Six Flags due to my mental health. I quit August 14th of 2017. But I did go back after work after taking 2 weeks off. My first night drag, I was supposed to be up at 7 p.m., but I did not get off until 11 p.m. That day, my mom wanted me to take my little brother and his friend to work with me and I took them with me. I told my mom and told her what was going on. I was crying. My mom was mad they kept me until 11 when they knew my hours were supposed to be cut back. My supervisor did not care that I was supposed to leave at 7, and the security guard got on to me for not picking up my brother and his friend. I was telling them I was supposed to be up at 7, but did not listen. The security guard told me I should not leave kids alone and should have got them a ride. I was their ride home because I was supposed to be up at 7 p.m., now 11 p.m. That night I asked my mom if I could quit since they did not care. I decided to quit my job at Six Flags to improve my mental health.
We have a few more minutes. Is there one more reader who would like to share another poem, but I wanted to call out to anybody who has not been on stage yet. Is there anyone who changed their mind and would like to read your piece? All right, come on up. Is that Valuria? I can't see through the lights. Very good. All right, Valuria Grace. I will tell you a little about her. She has contributed to Control Chaos for 3 years. She loves writing and her cat, Casey, as well as her guinea pigs.
It's very bright up here. So this year I submitted a cat at my photo piece, which is my emotional support animal. If you want to follow along, you can't. This poem is about a cat, but I did not submit to the journal this year. I believe I got another year, but I don't remember if there's a journal or not. But this one is called Max's Battle Cry. The cat is mirroring the soft cry, too soft for the beast of his stature. Red, orange, and white, with a dense lack of muscle, and a small face, white only by soft tufts of white fur, topped with a tiny, tiny noodle. His battle cry, his calls to battle, silent as a mouse, challenged only by his daunting size. A mass of fur and skin, muscle and sinew. His paws pound against the carpet. He peers out into the world, separated only by thin panes of glass. He cries out, but the sound barely passes his whiskers, turns no heads. He's left in silence, alone, apart from the world he wants to know, and shocked by the one he does.
Okay, to close us out will be Shanae Boone again. After she reads, we'll go back to the lobby and have a few more snacks and meet some of the artists and decide if we're going out to dinner together. So, Shanae Boone.
All right. Hi again. This one is called I Can't Be the One to Heal You. I have a sister that's schizophrenic, and you know what schizophrenia is, you know what that means. All right. I can't be the one to heal you. I've tried in the past to heal you, take your pain, make you brand new, realizing that I was taking your pain, but you were still blue. I can't be the one to heal you. I know that you're broken, I see it, and if I could take it and free it because you don't need it, I would, but I can't be the one to heal you. I hope that's understood. I can't be the one to heal you because you have to heal yourself. I hope you understand that I still love you to death. But if healing you means breaking me, I apologize, I refuse. Wanting better for yourself is something that you have to choose. I can't be the one to heal you because a part of me is still waiting for someone to heal me. Every rape, every beating, and the neglect broke me, and only me loving myself awoke me. But I'm not healed. I'm considered an open wound. Still praying, recovering, I will be soon. So healing you is not an option. I guess I'll have to proceed with caution. Because hurt people, and it seems like you know all the right things to say to hurt me, even taking it a step further and deserting me. I will always love you, and I will always be here for you. I pray that you beat whatever you're going through, and I'm so, so sorry, but I cannot be the one to heal you.
Thanks for coming out, folks.